Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar today, Introduction to Virtual CFO Delivery. I hope that you're having a wonderful day, and thank you for joining us on this webinar, Introduction to Virtual CFO Delivery. For those of you who are watching us on a live feed from social media, welcome. If you have any questions and you're watching this direct on the computer, you can type in your question and send it through to me, and I will try to answer the questions later on. If you're on a live feed, can you send me an email, please? peter@essbiztools.com.au. I want to start with a report card on the Australian accounting industry. The CommBank Accounting Market Pulse report was released in May 2022. The observations were firms see endless opportunities. Accounting services are in high demand. Accounting firms are enjoying the best conditions in 7 years. Is this the type of opportunities that you're seeing in your firm? Let's have a look at what the report identified that the leading firms are doing. They're setting the standard in service delivery and client expectation and client experience. They're using technology platforms to differentiate themselves in the marketplace, and they have used digital products and services to develop a cultural advantage. These are the new standards that are being established by the leaders of the accounting profession in Australia. And I think it's obvious to all of us that every other accounting firm has to aspire to this sort of level of service to be able to continue to supply services to your clients. The report identifies that the leading firms are learning-orientated organizations. They have excellence and innovation as habits, not only at the partners and senior managers, but right through the organization. They have financial strengths which they've earned, which means they are better able to take risks in the marketplace. And they empower their people to find new solutions and uncover unmet client needs. Are you aspiring to any of these objectives in your firm? The CommBank identified that the leading firm strategies for the next 3 years are marketing and business development activities. One of our affiliates, Brad Smart from PineCam, is offering a service to accountancy firms in the production of e-newsletters. This would help you with marketing and business development activities. We also have cross and upselling strategies. Now, larger firms can do this quite simply. If you're a smaller firm, perhaps you need to look at coordinating with some other people. For argument's sake, if you only want to stay with very small clients, but you've got a client that's growing and you would like to continue with the taxation work, perhaps you can come to an arrangement with another firm to supply virtual chief financial officer services to that client, to give them monthly financial accounts, budgets and cash flow forecasts to work with. These firms are confident in their ability to increase fees because of their market-leading services. They have communicated their services to their clients. Clients know what they're doing, and they are better positioned to be able to go to their clients and seek higher fees. But shouldn't we all be trying to do the same thing? The only limitation they face, according to the report, is the worsening talent shortage. What limitation or what problems are you facing in your firm? Is that the only one? That would be very good if it was, but is it? The report from the CommBank finishes with this statement: it is a virtuous circle that other firms ignore at their peril. It's a virtuous circle that other firms ignore at their peril. What the Accounting Market Pulse team are saying is that other accountants need to aspire to this standard of service quickly. Otherwise, you're going to get left behind. Expected areas of highest demand in the next 6 to 12 months that were identified by the CommBank from their research were two main areas: corporate finance, which includes mergers and acquisitions. So this covers activities such as budgets, cash flow forecasts, business plans, because you can't do corporate finance unless you have looked at those areas. And then it could encompass assisting a client with the documentation for a Section 708 of the Corporations Act capital raising, or raising capital as a crowdsourced funding equity raising company. Or if the company is a new company, under 3 years of age, and it's been involved in the development of new products, processes, services. In other words, has undertaken research and development, or has been admitted to the Accelerating Commercialization Program, looking to raise capital as an early stage innovation company. And this is very interesting work that small accountancy firms and medium-sized firms obviously can deliver. That way you'll keep your clients. You'll have interesting and challenging work. And the other big area that the CommBank report identified was business advisory services. And both of these services are key products that we have embedded within ESS BIZTOOLS to assist our subscribers to be able to offer this great range of services. So if you're offering these services, you're on par with the leading firms, according to the CommBank review. If you're not, I suggest you should be thinking very seriously of getting there, because this is where the Australian market's going. So how does your firm relate to these conclusions? Are you in agreement with what CommBank's Accounting Market Pulse report is saying? You might disagree with it, of course. Are you keen for some changes to occur? Where are you going to make those changes? Are you going to do more tax returns? Are you going to go into the market and try to buy tax return preparation rights of other practitioners who might want to do some other things? Or are you going to embark on a business-only taxation returns so that you have the capacity to be able to undertake business advisory services? You are at the crossroads. How does your firm relate to these conclusions? If you offered business advisory services, will this assist in attracting and retaining talent within your firm? And will it help you on attracting and retaining clients? Because many clients are looking for more services. They know it's tough out there in a business. They would like to employ a full-time chief financial officer if they were big enough to be able to pay the salary, a couple of $100,000. But many of them are not big enough, but they still need that input. Not for 40 hours a week. It might only be a couple of hours a week. And it mightn't be every week, but I think it is every month. And I think you need to sit down and talk to your clients and plant the idea that they need ongoing accounting services week by week, 52 weeks of the year. What changes are occurring in the market? And this has probably been felt more by the small and medium-sized firms. Is the technology performing more of the tax return work in your firm? Do you think your clients would like you to do more real accounting work, such as virtual chief financial officer services? There's a lot more to running a business than just the tax return. The tax return is really the end product. But if you sit down and have a cup of coffee with your clients, I think you'll find that they're quite emphatic. That's not helping them run a better business. But there's plenty of things that you could do to help them run a better business. That's why larger companies employ chief financial officers and accountants. Are you unsure where to start in all this? I have people ring me and say, Peter, we don't know where to start. I've got 20 SME clients. I've got a whole stack of wage earner tax return. Where do I start? Well, let me give you some more information. Are you aware of what's happening in the USA market? Probably not, unless you happen to read American documents or have watched some of our webinars of late. But let me give you an update. American accountants are starting to find that they've got reduced time having to be spent on preparing tax returns. Why? Because the technology's improving all the time. And they're finding that they don't have to do as much work on the tax return preparation. But you do realize that the companies that you deal with in Australia for your software, most of them are also in the American market. So I suspect this is also happening already in the Australian market, because the American firms are saying this is starting to affect their talent, because some accountants are saying, oh, there's some danger signs here. We got less work to do on tax returns. I better start looking around for another job, because sooner or later I'm probably going to get laid off here because this firm only wants to do tax returns. But some American firms started a few years ago, and now more and more are following, to say, hang on, we want to use that spare capacity to offer virtual chief financial officer services. We don't want to lose the talent we already have, because we've still got tax returns to do, and we still want to do tax returns. Just that they're not taking up nearly 100% of our time. That's getting reduced because of the software. I think sometimes we've got to learn from Uncle Sam. What is happening in America? What advantage can you get in the Australian market by being aware of it and doing something about it now? Not being caught up in other things. So what's happening in America is that virtual chief financial officer services have emerged as the savior for a large number of accounting firms. And the key product they're producing is financial forecasting. Some firms have made this mandatory for all of their clients. If their clients don't want them to do financial forecasting, that they decline the invitation from the client to accept their work. They suggest they go to someone else. And what they're defining as financial forecasting is business plans. Where's this business going? What's the strategy? The key drivers, the supporting calculations, looking at raw material stock, the shipping of stock, the labor teams, the production targets, the electricity and other fuel requirements, all getting built into supporting budgets. The budgets themselves for each individual business unit, not the whole business put into one budget, but breaking it down. It can be consolidated. Cash flow forecasts, projected balance sheets, so that they can sit down and say to the client, this is what the results of what you're doing now will look like in 3, 4, 5 years' time. In fact, many of them are doing 5-year forecasts every year and sitting down with the client and saying, now the challenge now is to implement all of this. This sounds interesting and challenging work, doesn't it? I think if you sit down with your accounting team and tell them that after appropriate training and preparation, that this is where you are headed in your firm, you will get an enthusiastic response. Because it is, as one young lady wrote to me some years ago, I'm now doing real accounting work. The virtual CFO services that have been promoted by American accounting firms seem to include a monthly work program that's selected by the client. Now, most of them have got 3 choices. You can have it weekly. So the CFO role has got an input in the business every week. It's probably with various team meetings with the leadership team, because the CFO is part of the leadership team. And then bi-monthly and monthly. But you have to select one of those 3, according to the firm that I've been talking to. They're saying, unless you're going to commit for us to be involved month by month throughout the year, we don't want to act for you because we think it's that important. And then the monthly board review meeting, which in their model, they facilitate. I think in your model, you should be facilitating. You're the CFO of that business. You sit down and look at the monthly board review meeting. This is how we've been going. And there could also be a role on the board of directors if you wish to be involved, or the board of advice. But when the board of review is the leadership team going through, analyzing the financial performance, looking at the key performance indicators, comparing it back to the budget, making adjustments, doing that digging to see what went wrong, or if something went spectacularly right, why? And let's try to replicate it every month from now on, and perhaps in other aspects of the business. This is what happens in a real situation. I was the CFO of a listed public company. It was very interesting working in that environment because there's inputs coming from other people. Production, sales, marketing, the CEO himself, and obviously accounting, shipping, all these other departments. That's what happens in a business. You can help participate in that and supply some very interesting work. We had a webinar presented about 6 weeks ago by a gentleman called Adam Hale, who is the partner in the firm in America that we've obtained a lot of information on this process. And we have that webinar available on our website, www.essbiztools.com.au. And I invited Andrew Gattis, who I consider as an Australian accounting industry guru, to view the webinar. And 2 hours later, I had a podcast interview with Andrew. And Andrew made this comment, having heard all that: it's a new business model. I think it's going to revolutionize the sector globally. Andrew Gattis has been around for a long time, started at the University of New England at Armidale as one of the founders of the Financial Management Research Centre, has advised hundreds of accounting firms around Australia. Most practitioners have been to events that Gattis has been the organiser of or a keynote speaker. And for 10 years, he was the chair of Green Cross, a veterinary surgery business all over Australia and in the top 200 ASX. It takes a bit to get Andrew Gattis excited. And that's what he said. It's a new business model. I think it's going to revolutionize the sector globally. Don't you want to be part of that? And there's my slide there about Andrew Gattis' enthusiastic response. Do you want to know more about this exciting opportunity? You could visit our website, www.essbiztools.com.au, or you could telephone me on 1-800-232-088 and book a 45-minute, no obligation complimentary appointment for an appraisal on how I think ESS BizTools could assist your firm to deliver a virtual CFO service. I look forward to hearing from you. Now, I can't see that I've got any questions come through. So hopefully I've answered all your questions. But if you think of some questions later on, please send me an email, peter@essbiztools.com.au. This webinar is being presented as part of a series. And our next webinar on this series is on Wednesday, the 28th of September at 11:30 a.m. You can register on our website, www.essbiztools.com.au. And we will be moving on in this journey of looking at the types of services that you could offer and the support that we can give you to assist you on that journey. So thank you very much for joining us today from the team at ESS BizTools. I trust that this webinar overview has given you food for thought as you look at your journey to reflect on as to where you want your accounting firm to go. Stay safe. Have a great day. Goodbye. And thank you very much for being with us today. Goodbye.